Welcome to Chemistry Sea World.
Hi friends, welcome to Chemistry Sea World. Today we are going to be discuss that chemical bonding. Before going to enter into the class, and please do subscribe my channel and share videos, like the videos. Thank you. So chemical bonding. Today's new topic is chemical bonding. First of all, what is meant by chemical bonding? We should know why the atoms are going to be combined, how it is going to be formed. First we will go with the definition. So definition, the attractive forces of between the atoms or two oppositely charged ions is called as what you can call chemical bonding. So the attractive force between the two atoms or two oppositely charged ions is called as what you can call chemical bonding. For example, if you are going to be see these atoms, so this is an atom which is having the nucleus, and which is an atom this is having nucleus. So when these two atoms are having in the individually, they have less stability, they have less stability. So when we are going to be taken individually, the atoms they have less stability. So whatever for stability purpose, the atoms will undergo for combine. So when the atoms are going to be combined, so there are both attractive forces and repulsive forces will be there. So what are the attractive forces? If you are going to be taking the two atoms, so it is a nucleus of an atom, one atom, and it is a nucleus of another atom. The nucleus of first atom is going to be attract the electrons which are present in the valence shell of another atom, and this nucleus is going to be attract the which are present in the what you can call electrons which are going to be attract by another atom which are having in the another atom. And so there is a repulsive forces. If you are going to be see that there is a valence electrons, and there will be have that repulsive forces between the electron as well as between the nucleus and nucleus, there will be a repulsive forces. When the attractive forces are going to be overcome the what you can call repulsive forces, then we are going to be form a what you can call bond. Here if you have to observe one thing, so when it is going to be undergo for bonding, that will means the attractive forces are going to be overcome the repulsive forces, we are going to be get bond. So meanwhile they have less stability. So when the atom have less stability, meanwhile when the forming a bond, they are going to be get a stability. So before it was more energy while participating in the bonding, and after formation of bond they have less stability. So we should know one thing here, the energy is inversely proportional to stability, When we have that more stability, they have less energy. When we have that less stability, they have more energy. So like this, atoms are going to go for attractive and they are undergo for chemical bonding. So what purpose they have? What is the need they have to combine? What is the main reason they have to combine? If you are going to be observe that there are some elements in the periodic table called as helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon, and these all elements are called as noble gases. So why we can call them as noble gases? Because they do not react with anyone and they have stability. Why they do have stability? Why the remaining elements do not have stability? Because so here we have to know one thing, that is what we can call that valence electrons. What is meant by valence electrons? What is meant by valency? We should know that. So let me go with it. Right. First of all, we should know that what is valency cell. So do you know that if there is an atom, there is a nucleus, and the nucleus having the protons and electrons and neutrons, and the electrons are going to be revolve around the nucleus. We already know that according to Rutherford and Niels Bohr theory, we are going to be know that. So there will be a center of the atom called there are proton and neutrons will be there called nucleons, and the electrons are revolve around the nucleus in a circular paths called as orbits or shells, we can know that. So here if you are going to be observe that valence shell, what is meant by valence shell here? So that according to Cosel's theory, so the electrons which are present in the last cell, this is called as outermost cell or ultimate cell or valence cell. So whatever we can call it is, there are three different types of names are there. So this is called outermost cell, ultimate cell, valence cell. So the electrons which are present in the last cell called as what we can call valency electrons. What we can call it is the electrons which are present in the outermost cell or ultimate cell or valence cell is known as valence electrons. Except valence electrons, the remaining electrons which are present in the what we can call inside the except valence cell, remaining electrons, so what we can call that is core electrons. Except that means there will be a first and second and all electrons we can call them. So we can call them as core electrons. Core electrons is nothing but what we can call except ultimate electrons, except valence electrons, So the remaining electrons are we can call it as what we can call that core electrons we can get. Here if you are going to be observe that nucleus and all inner cells we are going to be called as kernel according to what we can call Cosel's theory. According to Cosel's theory, we are going to be what we can call except valence cell and the remaining inner cells and nucleus together we can call them as what we can call kernel. To understand more on this one, we have valence electrons. So the atom which has with 8 valence electrons, that will become stable. So actually valence electrons which are having that 8 electrons in their outermost shell, they have stable. So generally we know that noble gases are having that 8 electrons except helium, and the remaining electrons are having that 8 electrons in their valence shell. That's why they are going to be occupy the what you can call stability. So the remaining elements are going to be always try to get their what you can call in their outermost shell 8 electrons. Meanwhile they are going to be loss or gain of the electrons. So to understand this concept, Lewis are going to be introduced that electron dot structure. So according to Lewis dot structures, we should go that according to law what you can call Lewis dot structures, he is going to be introduced that valence electrons by the dots, and these valence electrons only can involved in the what we can call chemical bonding, and the remaining inner electrons do not participate in their what we can call chemical bonding. So if you want to form a chemical bond, so it is always exothermic reaction. When the bond is going to be formed, that will have that some energy of liberation. There is some amount of energy is going to be liberation. And also if you want to, generally the atoms which are having that, they are not stable at ordinary conditions. Why? Because the atoms which are going to be exist if at ordinary conditions, it is in the form of molecule. So molecules, how many bonds, how many atoms will be there in the molecule, that we can call it as what we can call valency. The combining capacity of an element is also known as called as valency. So to understand that what we can call valency theory, and Cosel's and Lewis are going to be together, here going to be introduced that Lewis dot structures. Let me go with that Lewis dot structures. For example, I will write that lithium. Lithium has that electronic configuration 1s2 2s1. So here the second cell is nothing but what we can call valence cell. There are 1 electron in the valence cell. Then the lithium is going to be introduced the dots like this, or is going to be introduced like this in the form of cross. either it should be introduced a dot or in the form of cross. For beryllium, it has that 1s2, 2s2. There will be a 2 dots for 1, 2. And for boron, it has 3 valence electrons. If you are going to be observe that 2p1, this is 2p1, and it has that 3 valency electrons. And carbon, if you are going to be observe carbon, there are 4 valence electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4. And nitrogen, it has 1s2, 2s2, 2p5, it has that 5 valence electrons, and one should be paired and the remaining 3 will be alone. And oxygen, if you are going to be observed that 1s2, 2s2, 2p, this is 2p2, this is 2p3, this is 2p4 oxygen, and it has that 6 valence electrons, and 2 should be paired and 1 should be alone. And fluorine has that 7 valence electrons, and in that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so 3 should be paired and remaining only 1 electron is going to form a bond formation. If you are going to be observed that neon has atomic number 10, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So when we are going to be observe this, there are 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So it is completely filled with 8 electrons. So it does not have any electron participate in the what you can call chemical bonding. So according to Lewis, which are having the valence shell, which are having alone, they are also participate in the chemical bonding. Which are having in the inner cells, they do not participate in a chemical bonding. So actually chemical bonding is going to be based on 2 types, stronger bonds and weaker bonds. So let me go with the stronger and weaker bonds now. So chemical bonding having that 2 types, they are stronger bonds and weaker bonds. Stronger bonds having that again ionic bond, covalent bond, dative bonds, and metallic bonds. And weaker bonds. Weaker bonds will have that what you can call hydrogen bond and van der Waals bonding. So these are all types of bondings we are going to be explained in this chapter. I hope that you are going to be enjoyed this video. In the next video, we are going to be talk about that ionic bond. Thank you one and all. Have a nice day. So if you are going to be really like the videos, please do subscribe my channel and share the videos, like the videos. Thank you one and all.